All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for a video on crypto every day. My name's Austin, and in today's video, Bitcoin is causing some major disruption in the banking space. Yesterday afternoon, Deutsche Bank made a major announcement. This channel is breaking it to you first. Within the next 3 years, Deutsche Bank is cutting over 18,000 jobs by the year 2022. And while the Deutsche Bank is cutting over 18,000 jobs within the next 3 years, the Deutsche Bank is to invest deeply in tech by the year 2022 as well, because Bitcoin and crypto are clearly shaking up the banking system, so much that Deutsche Bank is trying to get in on it. New technologies may have already profoundly disrupted existing banking and financial systems. Some banks are taking drastic steps to ensure that they're able to survive by trying to catch up on this innovation. Deutsche Bank just announced that they will be one of them. The most recent example comes from Deutsche Bank, and we know this because their management just put out a little press release, we're going to check this out in a second, where they directly say that digital is on the rise. They're now admitting that there is no getting away from it. Thus, on July 7th, 2019, yesterday, Deutsche Bank CEO Christian Sewing admitted that after 150 years after its founding, the bank now has to be rebuilt in order to survive. Sewing stated, "The rebuilding will, however, only be successful if we fundamentally reshape our infrastructure. To achieve this transformation, among other things, Deutsche Bank plans to invest 13 billion euros in technology over the next 3 years, while simultaneously cutting 18,000 jobs." Wow. If you are an employee of Deutsche Bank, leave a comment down below. You have my sympathies. We'd love to know your status right now. But let's check out this exact press release, posting on their website, where they basically saying, we got to go digital or else we die. We won't ever go back to whatever we think normal was, to the way things were. The world is not standing still. It's moving on. And here's where they mention blockchain as well as the other technologies that they have to adapt to. Digital is on the rise. No getting away from it. Emerging technologies and trends such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, API banking, or the Internet of Things pledge to allow us to optimize capacity and processes to get more intelligence out of our data. Now, they go on, Deutsche Bank goes on to talk about how digital is a game changer, what they'll be doing differently. But you know what? Let me just sum this up. Deutsche Bank just flat out said that they believe in blockchain technology, meaning that they're eyes on cryptocurrency. Right? It has to be. And this is just what they're telling us right now. This is all that they're choosing to make public. You don't think that Deutsche Bank is probably making their own stable coin right now, probably to rival JPM coin, Facebook coin? You don't think they're investing in Bitcoin right now? Or maybe mining Bitcoin like Fidelity did for all those years before finally telling the public? This is the stuff that we've been talking about for the last year on this channel, how cryptocurrency is going to disrupt the financial systems that people just took for granted until Bitcoin, until crypto. And if you're wondering why Deutsche Bank had to fire 18,000 people or will be firing 18,000 people over the next 3 years, one of the many reasons is some political events that have just been happening. Moreover, geopolitical uncertainties can also trigger an enormous financial crisis. Deutsche Bank estimates that the impact of the US-China trade war has already obliterated over $5 trillion of USD from the financial market. I mean, we showed you a tweet from Donald Trump when we did our live stream the other day, showing that he's willing to let the value of the US dollar slide if it means he can win this trade war. Now, is he actually going to do it? Probably not, but that just shows you how fragile these government-backed, sovereign-backed currencies are, how unstable they are. Hey, but you know what? Bitcoin, it's borderless, permissionless, and despite not being backed by any government, Bitcoin continues to grow. Weird. Weird how that is. And just to put this in perspective, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, one of the leaders that looks over the global stability or instability of currency. In this regard, Christine Lagarde has already sounded the alarm. It was a few months ago, back in April of 2019, that Lagarde told CNBC that cryptocurrencies and financial technology developments are clearly shaking the banking system, showing that on a world level, people are paying attention to cryptocurrency. And she added, indirectly referencing Bitcoin, we do not want innovation that would shake the system so much that we would lose the stability that is needed. And she's worried. Things are happening right now, in my opinion, things are happening behind the scenes that they're not even willing to share yet. Deutsche Bank was not the first. It will not be the last. But this disruption that we're seeing right now on a global level of the financial system, this disruption that we're seeing, this is stuff that we were speculating about mid-2018, last year. By the way, if you appreciate these daily updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We drop a video every single day. You do not want to miss one. But you know what? That being said, let me just offer you a little bit of perspective on the banking system versus Bitcoin. By 2024, in just a few years, 15-year-olds will not know a world without Bitcoin. What do you think their first choice is going to be? Bitcoin, all you have to do is download an app, maybe trade with a friend, or a bank where you need a photo ID, parents' info, initial deposit, proof of address, social security, agreeing on hidden fees, signing unreadable documents. By the year 2024, I bet most 15-year-olds will still get a bank account. But how much do you want to bet that most of these 15-year-olds get Bitcoin first? Hey, I don't know, in 5 years, world's going to look completely different. One more piece of perspective for you. Gold has an $8 trillion market cap with zero merchant adoption. So why does the mainstream press think Bitcoin can only have value if it's used for coffee payments? Makes a good point. If you have an opinion on any of this, leave me a comment down below in the comment section. I really would love to know what your guys' take is on all this. But moving on, next piece of news, Japanese blockchain company invests big in India with academy and 5 offices. This is another update on Cardano. If you hold Cardano, this is the stuff to pay attention to. It was recently revealed that Amerigo was setting up an academy in Bengaluru along with 5 offices across the subcontinent. Now, India is not too warm to cryptocurrencies in general. So this expansion into India from Amerigo, this is intended to stimulate the blockchain sector in the country despite its resistance to cryptocurrency. So this has to do with the indirect adoption of Cardano. The goal is to help trainees understand the intricacies of blockchain technology like Cardano in order to effectively make use of them. This is interesting because it really shows where the strategy of Cardano lies. India has only around 19,000 blockchain developers and architects, which to me seems like a lot, but this is very, very low. This data could be slightly higher. But considering that both central and state governments understand the importance of blockchain and are setting up panels to understand its implementation, we foresee a huge demand for such technologies. So basically the point is, as for the offices that Amerigo is planning to open in India, the plan is set to be implemented across 2 years, business standard reports, and the offices will be placed in 5 different locations, namely Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, and Pune. What's interesting is that these developers that come out of this academy, potentially some of the best new programmers, developers in their field, when they're choosing a blockchain to develop on, Cardano is going to be an obvious choice. Let me know what you think, but moving on, next piece of news. A new Twitter study finds that the US posts most about Bitcoin and Facebook's Libra. Now, if you're in a different country, do not tune out on me because I have a graph to show the world right here. But to me, it makes sense that Facebook's Libra, obviously Facebook is a US company that's launching a global digital asset. So it makes sense to me that that the US would post most about Facebook. But new research has found that the US leads the world in the volume of tweets referencing Bitcoin and Facebook's planned Libra cryptocurrency. So in the US, more people like Bitcoin than don't, but on a global scale, 59.8% of tweets are positive about Bitcoin globally. So if you're in one of these green countries, tides may be changing. Look at this. Even India is generally positive, at least with their tweets, on cryptocurrency. This is for Bitcoin. If we're talking about Libra, the sentiment is a little more negative. But Libra tweets were most positive in the United Kingdom, but tended to be much less positive in the US and France and countries experiencing regulatory pushback. Just something to know, something to keep on the radar. That is the video for today. My name's Austin. If and only if you got value out of today's video and you stuck around to the end, which I assume most of you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and like always, I'll see you tomorrow.